Guys, I'll be honest with you. I don't even know how to start this video. It's that kind of video you never want to make, you know? If you guys have been watching the channel for a while, you constantly hear me talk about my father. And how the whole reason I got into cars and I do everything I do is because of him. His influence, his advice, his example, you know? And last week he passed away. We weren't expecting it, but I mean, you never are, right? And I figured I talk about him so much on the channel, and obviously he's been such a huge influence in my life, and he was a huge fan of the channel. I gotta do an episode, right? A little tribute, right? So on this episode of Pugliese Speed Shop, it's a tribute to my pop. So I was on a ride this morning, right? Because it was 60-something degrees again and beautiful, so why not? So trying to think of a way, clear the head, try to think of a way to do this. And all I kept thinking about while I was out riding was how much my dad liked riding. So it was kind of good. I kind of felt like I was out there with him a little bit, Then I got home, and I was like, I can't look nowhere, right? You guys see that car, right? 77 Le Mans. One of my favorites. Searched high and low for it. You guys saw the video on that, right? 30 years. The reason I want it is because my grandfather had one, which my father found for him. And my dad loved it. My mom loved it. The whole family loved it, right? But I'd never had that car if he didn't find that one for my grandfather. So there's that, right? See a Jeep? In the early 90s, he worked at a Chrysler dealer that was also a Jeep dealer. And every winter, he'd take those things for the demo, back when I used to do those things for dealers, And he'd drive them, drive them home, whatever. And we'd pop that thing in four-wheel drive and go climb the ski slopes and do other stuff you're not supposed to do, right? I wouldn't have that thing if it wasn't for him, Making those memories, right? That's what it's all about. It's all about that, I come in the shop. What I got? I got 3 Harleys sitting here. Guess who's the first guy I knew that had a motorcycle? Yep. My 53 Pontiac. Pop's a Pontiac guy. He claims Chevy, but he had more Pontiacs than anything. I look at this car, the first old car I ever had. Well, he ever had, that I'm aware of. We're sitting at his buddy's gas station. He used to work there 100 years ago as a mechanic. And we're in a 1950 Plymouth. It's trash, right? I mean, the body was solid. There was no rut. I was like 7. I'm like, the headline's coming in. The seats are torn up. And he's in the front seat. He's like, man, I'd love to have this car. I was like, Pop, I'd hate to have this car. He got the car. I think his buddy actually gave it to him. Drove it home. Brakes went out. Hit the trash cans in front of the house to stop. That's what that reminds me of. Same style, right? He wasn't a truck guy, but he liked that one. He's walking around here. It's like a lot of these tools one time was his. He got me a toolbox. That welder, his. It's just one of those things. You can't look nowhere. Not that I want to, but you guys, that guy right there, you guys heard a story about that picture. First car show I ever went to, he bought that. Gave it to me and my brother Anthony. Anthony's not a huge car guy, and I'm pretty sure I stole it somewhere along our childhood. And it's got that plate. That was on his 77 Le Mans after his father passed away. I'm not a big personalized plate guy. Personally, the last thing I want people to remember is my license plate. But my dad liked that kind of stuff, That was his thing. So yeah, it's kind of hard to do anything without looking around, with that influence. Like I said at first, right? One of those things. We'll put you down over here. Do a couple more things. All right, yeah, I had to put you guys down for a minute. You know, my arm gets tired being out there like that. And I think I figured out the perfect way to do this. Guess who introduced me to Yingling beer? Yeah, I'm sure you figured it out. To you, Pop. So, where were we? Talking about that influence, right? For as long as I can remember, no matter what we were doing, my father was right there. You know, I want to play baseball. He was a baseball coach. They were going to be in the Boy Scouts. He was a Boy Scout leader. We want to go on this trip to, Boy Scout camp, and we were going to take the bus and all this. And I guess they had a bus, the troop, but nobody could drive it. Well, he was a truck driver back in the day. He's like, I got it. We're still not 100% sure he had his license, but the man could drive like it was nobody's business, you know. He drove the bus up there with all the kids on it. No matter what we wanted to do, me and my brothers and my sister, he was right there. You know, he was super involved, which is the same reason when the kid was playing baseball, I was his coach. My nieces are playing baseball and softball out there in California. My brother's their coach. That's how we were taught, right? That's leading by example at its finest, you know? Everything I ever did, you know, when I was in high school and had no idea what I wanted to do, he gave me this advice. He said, I don't care what you do, but whatever you do, you better do it the best you can do. If you're a janitor, you better have the cleanest floor around, you know? And I'd like to think I did. You know, I wasn't sure what I was going to do, and my brother Anthony mentioned joining the Navy, and my dad's like, yeah, you need discipline, you know? Even though Anthony was younger than me, he was still kind of already had that path. And I ended up joining the Navy. I figured I'd do 4 years and get out. Now I did 23 years, right? And you know what? He was right there, the whole step, right? I had the kid, you know, as usual, throwing some pictures up. Here he is the night before I left. We got a little drunk that night. And then graduated boot camp, right? And then I went on deployment. Here he is, you know, meet me on the pier, right? It's just, come on, the whole way, right? And then my retirement. Last day I was in the Navy, and my mom was sitting right next to Megan and Andrew, front row. That's support. It's what makes me want to do the same stuff for Andrew. Because I remember how amazing it was, right? How no matter what I did, no matter what I did wrong, I knew Pops was right there to either smack me into, some sense in me, dust me off and push me on my, whatever it might be. He was there with whatever I needed. And, I'm super, super grateful for it. There's talk about him for a minute, not just the influence on me, but this was a guy, no matter what he did, toughest guy I ever knew in my life. Toughest guy, I swear. He had an electrical company for a while, and I was helping him, I was always wanting to help. It's funny because I don't really know anything about electrical, but we're wiring this house, and he cuts his hand, his finger. This thing is hanging, bad. And he's like, oh, well, okay. Tape, electrician, right? Tapes it back up. All right, we finish the job. We go home. We got a Little League game that night. He coaches a Little League game. At the game, he tells my mom, yeah, I kind of cut my hand. And then he finally went to the house and got it sewn back on after the game. Because that's all he cared about. He wanted to be there for the kids, It's just, it's crazy. There's times he broke his leg, he had a cast on his leg. He had a job to do, he had to do something. He cut it off. I'm good. Don't worry about it. Tells my mom, hey, call the doctor, I don't got to go now. I, I like to think I'm a pretty tough guy. I don't know that I would do either one of those things. And those are just two examples off the top of my head that we talked about recently. But like, Manon, it was always, you know. And so the last few years, he was not in the best of health, and he's my brother mentioned it. He's like, hey, if he's saying he's in pain, this has got to be bad. Yeah, you're right, man. And it just he it was his time. I guess that's how it goes. That's what they say. But that family thing, right? He always gets the last word. I'm telling you. Oh, he called me for Thanksgiving. You got to come back. Come up to the house. Come to the house. Your brother's coming from California. Your sister's coming from the city. Come on, we wanted all four kids together, right? And I'm like, I already had people coming to the house, I was like, I can't, Pop, and he was like, all right, I understand. So I saw him like a couple weeks later, and but he wanted all four kids together. Well, before he passed, my brother flew in from California. I shot up to PA. My sister came in from New York. Joey lives right by him. And all four of us spent more time together in the last 2-3 weeks since I left for boot camp. I left. So and my sister, I mean, she was born in '94, and I left in '95. So that was the most time I've ever spent with her, which was, I mean, terrible circumstance, but I'm glad I was able to. So you did it, Pop. Got all four kids back together for a couple weeks, taking care of Mom. I'm having to say goodbye to you, but I don't know. You did it. You always did. Figure it out, right, Pop? So these guys probably thought we were done, right? Not yet. We're getting there, though. It's all right. So how a lot of times, somebody passes away and you think right away, oh my God, the times you didn't answer the phone, maybe, right? That's always a big one. So I don't want to do that. I don't want to think about that. But in this case, I do. Because there's one phone call in particular I didn't answer. And I was at work, couldn't get to the phone, life happens, right? I talked to him on the ride home, and so that was cool. It wasn't really a big deal, but he left his voicemail, and I kind of forgot because, like I said, I called him right away. And I'm glad I didn't delete it or whatever, because now I got this voicemail. I can listen to whatever I want, right, for the rest of my life. So it kind of shows the support, right? Supporting me. He's, supported the channel. We talk almost like every week. He'd watch the shows, him and my mom, and we talk about it, what I was working on. He'd tell me if something was a piece of crap. That's something else about him. You always knew where you stood. No question. So, yeah. We talk about stuff, and that's how it was, right? It was a good little connection for us. So I'm gonna play that voicemail for you while the kid is, because obviously you guys know I have absolutely no technical ability at all. So he's gonna do that, and while he's doing that, we're gonna show you a couple of his cars that he's had and he loved, and got a picture of me and him with my my GTO there. And all the cars I had, this was his favorite one. I don't play a beautiful car, but yeah, there you go.
Hey, Chaz, Pop. I just wanted to let you know I watched your YouTube video yesterday, and I was really impressed. You got that piece of junk running. You got it shifting. You made a special tool to do it. I was really proud of you. And I just wanted to let you know that. And I love you. I'll talk to you later. Bye.
Now, Pat Murphy did a hell of a burnout leaving the church. And Dan, we appreciate that, but see if I can do something else. That'll work. Love you, Pop.